Hi, everyone. Hello and welcome. Leave a comment. I'm a little bit early. Welcome, welcome. I'm live, so don't let him in here. Okay, I'm back. Had to let my dog, I don't know, I have to close out of here. It's weird. I'm going to get my chat up. There we go. Now I could see. All right, this is the card we're going to make. This is using the lovely, can't even think of what it's, Hydranian Heaven. I don't know if it's the picture itself, looking at it in my little tablet, does not even do it justice. I'm going to bring it up. I added some, some glitter, not glitter, Wink Stella. Woo! I added Wink Stella to it, and I stamped it in the basic gray so it makes it look softer, but when it's far away, it looks like kind of, I don't know, on the camera, I think it makes it look more blurry, or maybe it's just me, but I absolutely love how this card turned out. So I'm going to share with you how I made this card. And you can make this with anything that you have at home. It's a fun pop. I don't know what they call this. So I'm calling it, hi Sharon. So I am calling it the pop-up frame card, because I don't really know if there's a name for this or not, but that's what I'm calling it, the pop-up frame card. So let's get started. We got lots of little steps here. So I'm just going to sit this over here. Forgot to bring my little sign down, so I better put my sign down here. Yep. Okay. I got a little bit of housekeeping, I guess they call it, for Stampin' Up. You know, it's celebration right now, and while I'm setting up, I'm going to talk to you. Celebration, for every $50 or $100 that you spend, you can get free product. So what that means, if you spend $50 in Stampin' Up product, then you can get a $50 item that they have in the celebration catalog. Now, if you spend $100 in Stampin' Up product, you have two choices. You can either get two $50 items or one of the $100 items. So they have two $100 items in there. And it's just great. So, yeah. I just wanted to let you know about that. Another way that you can get stuff through Celebration is by joining. You can join Stampin' Up, and they're giving you 5 packs of the paper for free. So, I'm going to be using the Stamparatus. I'll talk more about other stuff as we go. So I got a lot of coloring and stuff to do. So I like to use the Stamparatus, is what I used when I did this, and I like to start over 1 inch. I don't know, I like it kind of more in the center to me. And I'm going to hold this down for a minute. What we need is our squares. Now, you need your layering square framelits, and you also need your stitched square framelits. So in the stitched framelits, you get the ovals plus you get the circles and you get the squares. So we need the squares out of the stitched square, and we need the largest one out of them. So we need that one. And that just magnetized to the magnet. And then in the squares, the regular layering squares, there are the ones with the scalped, and then there's ones without the scalped. You want the ones without the scalped, and you're looking, starting with the smallest, you're going to count up to the sixth one. So this would be 1, this would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is not this one. I think it's this one. Let me make sure. Yes. So this is the 6th one. So I don't know if I don't think I have them on there completely right. But starting from the smallest working up, you want the 6th square. Say that 10 times fast. So we don't need this one right away, so we're just going to set that off to the side. But we need this. And what we're going to do is we're going to set this on here for now, kind of proportionalizing the amount you have on the side and the top. So you're just kind of eyeballing it at this point. Then you're going to take a pencil and you're just going to mark lightly. I'm doing it maybe a little bit heavier than it needs to be because I want you guys to see it. Can you see that? I just went ahead and marked all the corners of this for now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put this back on here for a minute. Then we're going to take our stamp set, and I want it up in the box, kind of like this, off to the side, like that. Well, maybe I went more like this a little. No two will probably be exactly the same, but you want it in your little square. So I kind of have it like this. Then I'm going to close this shut and pick up our stamp. Let me get this in the camera. I feel like it's down a little bit. I'm sorry for the glare off from the Stamparatus. So now what we're going to do is I like to use the mini, what are they, Stampin' Spots. And I just added this little, I don't even know what they're called, like a blender of some sort. And I added it to the back. And I'm going to stamp this all up. Just trying to see everywhere that I make sure I got it. And then I'm going to close this over. I'm going to get my little chuck. I think it's a chuck something. My friend and fellow card maker, Sharon Williams, made this for me. And I'd have to tell you, I love it. I've used it a few times and I really like it. Now I see I could use a little bit more up there, so I'm going to just kind of stamp there. It looks like my one leaf. So we'll just stamp this up again. And I'll try to make sure I hit those spots a little bit better. Okay. And I'm just rubbing this across. Makes it easier than pushing down. It really does. It works wonderful. Okay. There we go. So I like that. So now I'm going to get, you can use your chamois, the purple chamois if you want. You can use a wet paper towel, or I'm going to use a baby wipe, and I'm just kind of dabbing this up like that. And then I'm going to take a scrap piece of paper here just because I want to make sure all the ink is off it, and I'm just going to kind of dab it on here a little bit just to make sure that it's dry because I'm going to move it. Okay, so now we're going to move this, take it off, but before we move it, I had also gone ahead and I had punched or stamped this on a scrap piece of paper, and I used the die that comes in with the framelits. I used this die right here, and I cut out this, and then I cut it into two pieces, because what I did was when you cut this out, you know how it always leaves the little white edge? Well, I didn't want the edge to prevent me from putting my stamp over here. So I cut it and then I moved it over. I shifted it over. Now this is not on copy paper. This is on some scrap white paper that I had. But I would suggest doing this on copy paper actually, because you're going to see I'm going to have to stamp this a couple times. And then I'm just kind of making sure I got it down on the leaves where I want it. Okay, so I got that there. So now I got the stamp, and I had this one kind of going way up here. I had it going way up here, about like this. Yep, that's about like how I had it. Right about there. And then I'm going to pick it up. Okay. And then I'm going to dab it. Now this is where you may have to put a little more pressure, because like I said, I used regular, what do you call it? Regular cardstock. If I had used a thinner cardstock, I won't have to press so hard here, like the copy paper for masking. Or if I use some of that masking, what do they call it? Sheets, then I wouldn't have had to press so hard neither. But because right in this area, right where they blend together, I'm pressing a little bit harder, only because of the fact that and like here where my leaves are meeting, and I may have to stamp it again, and that's because of the fact that I have that thick paper. And I'll show you. See how that didn't really come out that great? That's where I'm going to have to keep pressing. You want to keep pressing right there. And that's because, like I said, yeah, see how it came out better? But down here on my leaf, it didn't come out that great. So I'm going to come down here and give it a good press just right where that leaf is. Okay. My leaf looks like that might need a little more ink. So that one we're going to ink up a little bit. I'm not going to ink the whole thing. I'm just going to ink where it needed it. Give it a good press with 2 cards. Thank you, Sharon. This is a fun card. It really is. A few steps to it, but very stunning. Oh, my thing must have moved a little bit and I didn't realize it, but I think it'll be okay. We're just we're gonna go with the flow here. Okay, so now we're gonna peel this off, and now we got our very beautiful little mask. Okay, and then we're gonna wipe this up again. And I'll put this off to the side. Okay. So now what we got to do is we got to color it. And I'm going to take a scrap piece of paper and put this down underneath it. And the colors that I chose for this card was Old Olive, light and dark for the leaves. Highland Heather, light and dark. And then the Sea Spide Spray, light and dark. So while I'm coloring, I'm going to also talk to you about a few things. You know, you can get the mini right now, the Linen Mini embossing cut machine. I'm sorry, I needed a drink. My voice was very dry. And I'm going to do the opposite flowers this time, I think. So you can order that if that's something you want to order. What else is going on? Oh, next month you can order the Hey Chick set. I just got mine in. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. Wait till you see what I'm going to do with them. I just haven't, I'm not staying in the lines here. I'm just being careful around the outside edges, but I'm just coloring this whole thing in the light. I'm kind of doing a circular motion, and I'm just using the light. Just when I get to the edges, I'm just being careful, and I turn my paper all over different directions to do this. And this is just the light for right now. Okay. And then I went ahead and I took the light Highland Heather, and I just kind of went like, okay, that looks like a good spot. This looks like a good spot. And this is how I did it. I colored in a couple of the flowers, maybe around it. Went down here and did some more. And I just kind of picked. I didn't really have like no rhyme, no reason. Just kind of decided that that looked like a good spot to put one in. And then I came back in with the light again. Oh, it's called the Chucky tool, everybody, is what this is for when you're rubbing on it. I knew it was a chuck of something. I couldn't remember exactly. And now I'm just kind of blending those colors out. I'm just kind of going over them. I'm going back over this with the light, remind you. So I'm just kind of blending them out. The more you go over it, the more it blends out, and it gives it like that, I don't know, softer color that you kind of want in your, and I just keep going over it. Remember, if you're watching, make sure you leave a comment because you can get a chance to win. And then I'm going to go in with a little bit of the dark. Not a lot. I just went in a little bit. I just put a little bit like here maybe. Some right here. I didn't want a whole lot of dark because I didn't really want it to take away from the softness that I was going for. And then I went back over it with the light. And you don't have to go over the whole thing. If you notice, I'm just kind of going around the area. But you want to have some lighter leaves and some darker. If you see I'm skipping around, I'm not hitting every single spot again. I'm mostly kind of going back over my spots that I just did. Now I'm going to let that soak in, and then we're going to come back with the dark in a few minutes. But now we're going to work on this one, and I'm going to basically do the same thing, but I'm just going to reverse my colors. And like I said, I'm just going slower around the edges. And then I go just kind of color it in. And I'm just going in this circular motion. So what else is going on? I don't know what's going on really. I guess I've told you a lot of the news. And then I'm going to take the light in the seafoam spray, and I'm just going to dab some here, some there. And I know it doesn't look like it's doing hardly anything after you see the other one, but it is. It's doing stuff here. And I don't really have, like I said, no rhyme or reason where I'm putting it. I just want it to look like one of those, I don't know what, well, they're like the purple and blue flowers. I get these every year thinking that I'm going to plant them. And I get them, but for some reason they never get in the ground. They're beautiful. I love to look at them while they're... I don't have a green thumb neither. I kill stuff off. They probably wouldn't even live in the ground with me. So now I'm going to take the dark because I want more darker of the blue and the purples in this. So now I'm going to take the darker blue and I'm going to go over some of these spots. And I'm just giving it like a little circle or scribble here and there. Okay. And then I'm going to go back over those spots with the light. And you could see how it just gives it like that dark bluish color that you see mixed in with these flowers. I absolutely love this bundle. Okay, so now what I did do was I came back in with the dark and I just kind of touched a few spots. And you may not have to even do this. I mean, it all depends on how you liked it after you were done with it. And I just kind of did it in the center of some of them. And then I come back in with the light and I just kind of blend those spots out a little bit. And it's just where I did those spots. I'm not going to color the whole thing. I'm just blending those few spots out. It gives it like another darker tone in there. And I did the same thing with the purple. I kind of found some spots that I thought might like or need a little bit more darkness. And then I just kind of went over those spots. And when it all dries, you see all the blending the best. Okay. There we go. So now I'm going to do the leaves. my camera's picking up. Is it blurry? Are you guys seeing this good? I don't know. I'm seeing it on a little tiny screen, so I can't tell. Oops. I almost went with the dark. I want to start with the light. And the other end. So what I did was I just went and I kind of and I'm just coloring it all. Now here I have this double stamp I did, but it's only on the stem, so I think it'll be okay. You could do this with any flower. The tulip flower would be very pretty to do. You could do it with the what are they called? Succulents flower that they have. Any of the flowers. You just make sure you're in your little square up there that you created. And you want some to go outside of your square, and so that's why I kind of went a little higher and outside of my square a little. So now we're going to take the dark, and basically I outlined it like all this little stuff that was in here. Okay. And now I'm going to blend them. And I'm going to go back over it with the light. I really wanted to use Pear Pizzazz. I wish Stampin' Up! Would hurry up and make a Pear Pizzazz blend, because I really feel that we need one. Because we really could use one. And this all, as it dries and gets, it blends really good. Okay, so now we have that. That was fast coloring, but it looks, I love the way it came out. So now what you want to do is you want to take and you want to put your stitched square, the larger of the two, back lined up with your pencil marks that you put on. And then you put the other one right inside like this. Trying to get it to where it won't move. Lining it up. And then we're gonna, oh, I moved the middle one. And then we're gonna take some Post-it note tape, because you really want to kind of hold this down. You don't want them to move. You want them to stay in their position. There we go. And oops, I should have put this away. All right, now we're going to bring in the big guy. Here we go. And then we're going to get the cutting plates. So we need plate 1 and plate 2. Then we need 1 plate 3. And we need our card base here with the dies on it. And then we need another plate 3. And then we're going to crank this through. Okay, thanks, Sharon. I just didn't... Yes, I got the cherry cobbler paper and everything for you. I will be bringing that very soon. I want to say today, but my son just got a huge package for, he still gets his mail here from his farm, and he just got a huge package in the mail, and he needs it for a tractor part, so he wants me to bring that over to him when I'm done here. So, and that's in the opposite direction. Too bad everybody couldn't live close right next to each other. Okay, so now we're going to separate our parts. We don't need them anymore. Now here I've got a base card. Now this also, I want to let you know, the paper I'm using is the basic white, and you just saw me color on it, and there was no difference with the blends. So that's wonderful. So the this paper is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. I wanted to let you know it's still smooth, but there is a definitely, you can definitely feel the difference, especially if you're like me that works with the Whisper White all the time. Some people may not even be able to tell. So now I have a couple pencil marks that I want to remove. So I'm going to take them off. And that one, I don't think you can even see. Blend it in. Okay, so now we're going to attach this down. So we need to put our snail all the way around the card. Okay, and then this is a piece of soft seafoam, and this piece, let me look at my directions so you guys will know, is 5 1/4 by 4. And then this piece of Whisper White that we stamped on was 5 by 3 3/4. And then we're just going to line this up like that. And now we're not going to stick this one down yet, but we're going to use it for placement. So we're just sticking it in there. Then we're going to take this one and we're going to put a bunch of snail on the back of it, or what is this, Stampin' Seal. Whatever adhesive you want. You could use liquid glue, whatever. And we're using this just as a guide to help make sure everything, let's see, moving it, pull it out. I just want to make sure this stays right where it belongs. And then this piece has got to go in here as a guide. Okay, that looks good. So now I'm going to push that down, and then I'm going to peel this back out. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our Stampin' Dimensionals. Now Stampin' Up! Sells these long strips like this. And what we're going to do is we are going to put these around the outside of this. My scissors. I'm going to remove the backing. And then I'm going to take some liquid glue. Now you don't have to do this part, but I want to have a little wiggle room when I'm putting this down. And if I put a little bit of a, like this liquid adhesive on here, it gives me a few extra minutes. But you don't have to do this if you think you could do it in time, but I know I needed it when I did the other one. Then we're going to line this up. And before I push it down, I like to look at the top because that's where I had my mistake. So it's almost like you want to look at it sideways, but line everything up. There we go. And see how that came out? Isn't that cool? I just love how it just gave it that little bit of pop. So yeah. So now we're going to take ribbon, which I forgot to bring over here. So I got to get some ribbon here. And I think because I don't have any seafoam, I'm going to use some of this white that I have. I thought I had it right. No, I don't. All I have is white with gold. Well, we'll try this one. And I'll have a little bigger bow on this one. I'm going to use some white satin ribbon. Okay. So I don't know. This might be too thick for what I want to do. Yeah, I don't like that. I'm going to just get the purple again, I guess, because I don't like that color. So we'll just do the purple. I think the purple was best. Okay. So you want about a 1/2 inch on each side. You can't get this ribbon this is an old retired ribbon, and I'm trying to use up my ribbon more because I have got a lot of ribbon, but they do have a Highland Heather color in there that would work perfectly fine in the catalog. And then I'm just, oh. I just put a little bit of adhesive. I call this the cheat bow or cheat. Okay, so I put a little bit of that on both sides. And then I'm going to cut another piece of my ribbon. And I'm going to put it on this side. Right here. And then I'm going to cut or tighten this. I'll trim this after I put my grating on over here. So for the grating, you need a scrap piece of white and some scrap soft sea spray. And what I'm going to do is first I'm going to punch out I'm using this double scalped oval punch or double oval punch. I'm using the scalped one in the soft sea foam, and then I'm going to stamp my grating. There's lots of gratings in the book, but I really liked, I moved them over here. I got these many messages. And I told you guys, so don't cringe when you see me open this, but I told you guys when I did my haul that I was probably going to just get the stamps and not the frames so that I could use the stamps anywhere. And so I was going to cut this down. And I did just that. So I cut it down. So I want the hello. It's just a card to say hello. And I'm going to get the soft sea foam. I gotta move my tablet, or sea spray. If I keep saying sea foam, it's sea spray. Sorry. And I'm going to stamp this up. And I'm just going to stamp it down on my card. Like that. And then I'm going to, I may have to cut this, because I don't want to waste the whole thing. So I stamped that. And I think I had something, I had something on that. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to flip it over and do it again. I have a piece of lint or something. It must have been on my pad. I don't know. So we're going to try it again. Stamp it up. Sorry. I don't know. How many of you stamp like me with stuff everywhere? This is how I stamp. I can't be one of those like professional other people out there that do cards and have stuff organized and everywhere. This is how I normally stamp, and so I guess that's how I share. And then I'm going to bring in this punch. I'm going to center it. And then I'm going to punch it out. Oh, I thought I didn't center it, and then I remembered I stamped on the other side. So, yeah. So now we're going to put these two together like this. And I am just going to use some adhesive. So, here we go. Like that. And then I'm going to put some on here. And I didn't want to pop this up because I didn't want this to take away from this popped. So I left this flat. And then I'll put this right here. Just like that. And then I'm going to cut my ribbon over here. And then I'm going to cut this one down too. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put liquid glue on this on the back because I popped it up already and it's just easier. So, I mean, I guess if I attached this beforehand, but I wanted my ribbon and everything, so just use some liquid glue. Actually gives you a little wiggle room too. And I'm just going to center this on here. Like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and I've got these gems that come, or pearls, these beautiful pearls that come in this set. And they've got all different colors. And I think I'm going to use these like bluish ones here this time. And I'm going to put one right about here. One down about here. I don't know, I just kind of kept them all on this side. And I put one right there. And then I got the Wink of Stella. And I just went ahead and I just went around this whole card. But of course, I gotta squeeze this, and every time I squeeze it, me and the Wink, there we go. I usually end up making a mess with it. And this Wink of Stella just brings it out just all that much more. And that is our card. So I really enjoyed making this card. It was fun. You could see it in the two different versions. I'll bring it up close so you guys could see some of the Wink of Stella. And you could do this with anything. I mean, you don't have to just do it with flowers. You could do it with like any of the animals or whatever. You're just making it kind of like a pop. But I like it with the flowers the best. So this is the card I did. If you would like to purchase any of these products you've seen here with me today, you can go to bonniescreativeplace.stampinup.net. And anybody that does purchase from me in the month of this month gets to get our free tutorial right here, the January free tutorial on all from the Creative Carology team. So you can get that for free. And I email that to you. And that's it. So make sure you leave a comment in the description box below. And I will be drawing a winner for one of these cards. So thanks for joining me, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. I'll chat with y'all soon. Bye-bye.